Hello, my friend. I'm Dr. Carter, and I've spent more than 30 years caring for men as they age, guiding them through arthritis, heart health, memory changes, and yes, the sensitive subject that most men avoid, their intimate health. If you're a man over 60, I want you to listen carefully, because what we're talking about today is not just about sex, not just about performance. It's about your vitality, your circulation, your hormones, and your very sense of being alive. Many men think that after a certain birthday, intimacy, especially self-care, is no longer important. They believe desire has an expiration date. They push it aside, ignore it, or feel too embarrassed to talk about it. But let me tell you from years of practice, neglecting this part of your health can quietly rob you of strength, energy, independence, and even your confidence as a man. I've seen too many men suffer in silence, and it doesn't have to be that way. Today, I'll walk you through what happens to your body when you stop paying attention to your intimate health, and more importantly, how you can protect and even restore it without shame, without heavy medication, and without giving up on yourself. The slow decline that nobody talks about. Think about your muscles. If you stop lifting, they weaken. If you stop walking, your legs stiffen. The same is true for the most sensitive muscles and tissues in your pelvic region. They need stimulation and blood flow to stay alive. When men stop engaging in intimacy, whether with a partner or through self-care, circulation to the pelvic area decreases. The result? Weaker tissue, loss of function, and lower responsiveness. Over time, even your prostate, an organ vital to male health, can become congested and more vulnerable to inflammation. And that's only the physical side. Hormones also shift. Testosterone naturally declines with age, but intimacy, including self-stimulation, helps trigger the release of testosterone and other hormones that maintain mood, energy, and muscle mass. Without that natural boost, many men notice fatigue, irritability, brain fog, and even depression. I remember one patient, let's call him Robert, who came to me at 68. He wasn't sick, but he felt flat. No motivation, no spark. He thought it was just old age, but after a deeper conversation, I learned he hadn't been intimate with himself or anyone else for years. We worked on safe ways to reintroduce gentle stimulation combined with pelvic floor exercises and lifestyle changes. Within months, Robert reported more energy, better sleep, and even a brighter mood. His body wasn't broken, it was simply neglected. What you risk by ignoring intimate self-care. There are 4 major consequences I've seen in men who abandon this part of health. 1. Pelvic and prostate problems. Without stimulation, blood flow slows. This can lead to congestion in the prostate, discomfort, and even increase the risk of enlargement or urinary problems. Regular release helps flush the system and maintain healthy circulation. 2. Hormonal imbalance. Intimacy triggers testosterone, dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins. These aren't just pleasure chemicals. They're the same signals that keep your bones strong, your muscles toned, and your mind resilient. Without them, men age faster, inside and out. 3. Weak pelvic floor. Yes, men have a pelvic floor too. These muscles support your bladder and bowels, and they play a direct role in erections and stamina. Without use, they weaken, leading to urinary leaks, reduced control, and sexual dysfunction. 4. Emotional disconnection. This one is harder to measure but just as real. Men who stop engaging with their intimate selves often describe feeling invisible, less confident, or not themselves. They may avoid relationships, withdraw socially, or carry quiet shame. But it doesn't have to be that way.
The science of staying alive, not just living. Harvard researchers studied older men who maintained regular intimacy into their 70s and 80s. What they found was striking. These men had stronger hearts, denser bones, sharper minds, and lived more independently than their peers who were inactive. It wasn't about frequency or performance. It was about consistency. A few minutes of self-care a couple of times a week was enough to keep blood vessels active, hormones balanced, and the brain firing in ways that protect against decline. Another study from Europe showed that men over 60 who continued self-intimacy had lower rates of depression and better memory scores. Why? Because the brain lights up during arousal, strengthening connections between areas responsible for mood, focus, and motivation. Practical steps you can start today. Now, let's get practical. What can you actually do to support your intimate health as you age? Step 1. Reconnect slowly. If it's been months or years since you've touched yourself, don't rush. Start simple. Warm baths, deep breathing, or even gentle touch to the abdomen or thighs can begin restoring awareness and circulation. Step 2. Strengthen your pelvic floor. Kegel exercises aren't just for women. Men can benefit too. Imagine stopping the flow of urine midstream. That's your pelvic floor contracting. Hold for 3 seconds, release, repeat 10 times, 3 times a day. Over time, this builds strength and control where you need it most. Step 3. Support circulation. Hydration, walking, stretching, and avoiding long hours of sitting all keep blood moving to the pelvic area. Remember, what's good for your heart is good for your intimate health. Step 4. Use safe aids if needed. Water-based lubricants, gentle devices designed for seniors, or prostate-friendly cushions can make intimacy more comfortable and effective. These aren't crutches, they're tools for health. Step 5. Focus on consistency, not performance. This is about keeping your body alive, not proving anything. Even once or twice a week is enough to keep tissues healthy, hormones flowing, and your confidence intact. Stories that stay with me. I once worked with a retired teacher, age 72. He told me, "Doc, I don't even feel like a man anymore." He had stopped intimacy entirely after his wife passed, believing it wasn't appropriate at his age. But his health began to slide. Low energy, prostate issues, sadness. With time, education, and small steps, he began reconnecting with his own body again. Not for lust, not for anyone else, but for himself. 3 months later, he told me, "I feel alive again. Not young, but alive." That's the point. Another man, a 76-year-old veteran, struggled with bladder leaks and avoided leaving home. Once he began pelvic floor training and added back gentle intimacy, his control improved and his confidence returned. He was able to join his buddies for weekly breakfasts again. That's independence. That's dignity. Why this matters more than you think. Listen carefully. This is not indulgence. This is not vanity. This is health. Intimacy in later life supports your circulation, strengthens your muscles, balances your hormones, and preserves your emotional well-being. Ignoring it doesn't make you stronger, it makes you weaker. Paying attention doesn't make you foolish, it makes you wise. You deserve to feel like yourself. You deserve to wake up with energy, to move without fear, to look in the mirror and recognize the man staring back. And you don't need a partner to begin. You can start privately, respectfully, and safely right where you are. Final thoughts. Men over 60 often get the message that their best days are behind them, that intimacy no longer matters. But I'm here to tell you the opposite. This is the very time in life when staying connected to your body matters most. Your health isn't just blood pressure and cholesterol. It's about how alive you feel. And caring for your intimate self is one of the simplest, most natural ways to keep that fire burning. So if you've neglected this part of your health, I encourage you, start today. Small steps, gentle care, steady consistency. Not because you need to chase youth, but because you deserve to age with vitality, strength, and dignity. And if this conversation speaks to you, don't carry it alone. Share it with a friend, a brother, a son, because too many men suffer in silence, and silence is the real enemy. You are not done. You are not invisible. You are still here and you still matter. Let's make sure your health and your spirit reflect that.